Man, it's a beautiful sight, isn't it? It's a beautiful sight to see all those lights flashing. That means power. Bluetooth going for all these DIY inverters on. All these units are charged up by the sun. And what I'm going to talk about this evening are a few things. First thing I want to talk about is your power bill. How important it is to know your power bill, to know what program you're on with your utility company. And the most important thing I want to talk about is how much you're paying per kilowatt, per kilowatt hour for power, how many cents you're paying. That's very important for this whole video because it's gonna correlate with these DIY solar generators. And when you buy solar generators out the box from one of the name brand companies, we're going to talk about all of that. First of all, let's talk about our power bill. Here's my power bill. Look at that. My power bill this month is $152.37, but that's not my power bill. My power bill is actually $91.05. This is the lowest power bill I've ever had. I've used 859 kilowatt hours of power, and it says 152 down there, but look at the bill, 5137. See that? That's just for delivery charges from CenterPoint. CenterPoint charges $51.37 to deliver my power to my house. TXU is my energy company, but CenterPoint owns all the lines. Most of the lines in Texas are owned by CenterPoint. Isn't that crazy? The reason why my power bill is so low, and this is the lowest bill I ever had since I've been in this house for the last 8 years, is because of these. I'm using these, and my bigger units you already saw. My big 5,000 kilowatt hours of storage units. My 5.0 units. I'm using all these solar power to reduce my power bill. And that's what I want to talk about. DIY versus out the box when you buy from a name brand company and the difference. Also, as you can see here, look at that. I have my TV, my internet plugged up to this unit right here. And I'm using between 62 and 63 watts per hour. And that's why it's important to get these watt meters. And this one tells you everything. It breaks it down. It saves the information. It'll save it. All that. Record it. So you know how much energy each of your devices in your house is consuming, from your refrigerator to your TV to your internet to anything you plug into the wall, plug it up in the here, and see how many watts it's taking. I know how much every device in my house, how much watt per hour is consuming. That's important when you're doing DIY, because you want to know how much power your house is actually consuming. That leads into the next thing. When you're DIY versus buying out the box. See, back to my bill here. With my plan, I'm paying 10.6 cents per kilowatt hour. A kilowatt hour equals 1,000 watts. So I'm paying, that's important to know too. Know the difference between watts and kilowatt hours. Know the numbers, learn that too. A kilowatt hour equals 1,000 watts, people. So for every 1,000 watts, I'm paying 10 cents. A little bit above 10 cents. 10.6 cents is what I'm paying. And that's pretty good. So when I'm building these DIY solar generators myself versus buying them, I'm calculating the numbers. And this is the reason why I've only bought 2 out the box solar generators. This Energizer and this one right here, Flash Fish. I've only bought 2 solar generators from anybody. The reason why is because it's a whole lot cheaper to build my own, because I've done the calculation. I'm paying a little bit above 10 cents per kilowatt hour of power. And buying solar generators from name brand companies, I can't get that value. You know, the lowest I've gotten close to doing my calculations with buying a solar generator from a company online is maybe 12 cents per kilowatt hour. You're not going to believe how much it cost me to build these. Like I said before, it cost me $375 per unit. These are 1,200 watts of storage, which equals out to about 1.2 kilowatts. Together, it's 4.8 kilowatts for all these units added together. 48 kilowatts, 4,800 kilowatts. 4.8 kilowatts, which is 4,800 watts of storage capacity with all of them together, all 4, which is pretty good. But the thing about it is, by building these myself, I paid 3 times less than I would buying a comparable unit online. So it only cost me 2 cents a kilowatt hour. I'm getting 2 cents kilowatt hours versus if I were to buy the same unit online, one of the box units out the box, which is, I had no problem with people doing that. I would pay 3 times as much for the same unit, and it would cost me 12 cents to 15 cents per kilowatt hour. Isn't that crazy? That's why it's important when people, I get a little perturbed. I'm not gonna say perturbed, but I wish these content creators who are reviewing these solar power generators would tell the people how important it is to know the kilowatt hours of your area and how many cents that's going to cost per kilowatt hour. Whether it's worth paying all this money for a solar generator. If it's going to be more, it's going to be more for the solar generator than it would be for them just to stay on their power company grid. Because some of these larger solar generators are $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for some of these larger units. So why would you pay $6,000, $7,000, $3,000 for a larger unit, a solar generator unit, and it's only going to give you a return? It's going to cost you 18 cents, 15 cents per kilowatt hour. Vice versa, your power company is selling it to you for maybe 12, 13 cents. You're getting ripped off by buying a solar generator because you're paying more for it. Think about that, folks. You need to know this stuff. Also, what I'm going to talk about is how much power is in certain parts of the country. Hawaii has the highest cost per cent per kilowatt hour. In Hawaii, it's 44 to 45 cents per kilowatt hour. That's crazy. In New York, it's 22 to 24 cents per kilowatt hour. But also, which is the second highest in the country. But you have to realize, I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to flip this over right here, my bill. I'm going to show you guys something. Without showing you my personal information here, I got to get this thing right. I'm trying to get it right here, so you guys can see this. Because I'm going to break something else down to you. Why it's important to know. Okay, let's see here. Trying to get this right here so I can show it to you. And it's not cooperating with me. But okay. Here we go. This is my usage for the whole year from December 22 to December 2023. As you can see, where it went high. It went very high in the summer. My highest usage in the summer was 3,400 kilowatt hours for the summer. But as you can see, it dropped way down to December. This is the lowest I've ever had it. Lowest I've ever had it. And it's because of this. Because of this. But also be aware that up north, they're not going to be using as much electricity as we are down here in southern Texas because it gets way hotter. So they may pay a whole lot more, 3 times as much actually, almost 4 times as much per kilowatt hour. But they're not using as much electricity in the summertime as we are. So take that in consideration too. So these are some of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about. Read your power bill. Know how much you're paying per kilowatt hour by the cents before you go out and buy these power stations, because a lot of you guys are getting ripped off. A lot of you guys, your power company is actually cheaper supplying you electricity than some of these solar generators, because a lot of them are overpriced. That is the reason why I do DIY, because the value I'm getting can't compare to me going and buying a solar generator online from one of the big guys, the name brands. There's nothing wrong with buying a solar generator from the name brand companies. It's best to have any type of solar generator than not to have one at all. Because when the power goes out, you need power. So it's not about cost. So if you're just buying one for when the power goes out, then that's fine. But if you're buying one to run your home every day, then you better do the numbers. Make sure you're not getting ripped off. Because I learned a whole lot from Mr. Will Prowse channel. And I told myself I wasn't going to buy any more plug-and-play systems because they just can't compare to what I can build myself now. I'm saving thousands of dollars. Thousands. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Always know how much you're paying for power from your public utility. Know how much you're getting per kilowatt hour in cents when you buy these solar generators, so you don't get ripped off. That's all I'm saying. Do your research. Until next time, Residential Life Wayne, please like this. Please join my channel. More to come.